Dr. Harris, when you talk about testing for omega-3 levels, and
Right.
now we've heard about a pharmaceutical product
Right.
out there, does that maybe indicate that their testing will become a more regular part of our doctor visit, or do we have to be educated enough to ask for that test? And is it easy for doctors and clinics to do?
Yeah, yeah. I think it's going to follow with the awareness of omega-3 going up. And it's going to be kind of a push-pull, I think. And the doctors are going to be knowing about it and then doing it, recommending it for their patients. Other times, patients are going to hear about it and tell their doctor about it. The test is available from various varieties of these tests. Again, there really isn't a standardized way. So if you send a blood sample to 5 different labs, which we've done, you get 5 different answers, which is the problem. That's the problem. So that is going to slow things down until there's a standardized way of doing it, where every time you as a doctor send your patient's blood for testing, you know it's going to be the same value they get in any lab. Unfortunately, it's a very difficult test to do from a clinical laboratory point of view, because in the clinical lab, everything is very, very automated and usually run by enzymes and color changes and things like this. The omega-3 test is done by what we call, it's an old-fashioned method called gas chromatography, which is a big word, but it takes quite a bit of time to analyze each sample to get the omega-3 level. And so that's going to slow down its pickup, just a technological barrier. But I think it will come. I definitely think it will come as people realize the logic, and particularly as we keep emphasizing that doctors need to practice what they call evidence-based medicine. So you need evidence to do something if you're going to treat some condition. And so if you don't know the blood omega-3 level, how can you treat it? So it's going to come. There are some companies that are starting to, some insurance companies that are beginning to reimburse for this test. That's the key. Once the third-party payers decide that this is worthwhile to pay for this test, then you're going to start to see much more widespread. At this point, it's been out-of-pocket expense, and that's always a slow sell.
And that was my next question: how expensive is it? And insurance companies, you said, are just maybe starting to pick up.
A few of them are starting to pick up on it, and a few kind of progressive laboratories that we're working with are who know how properly to bill insurance and the proper codes and all that. Are finding ways to do this that are legitimate and make sense. And typical cost, if you're just going to the internet and looking up a blood omega-3 test, yeah, you'll see it between $125 and $250. And it's all over the map.
So if we maybe can't pay for that or don't want to pay for that, at least we know it's safe to keep increasing our levels through other ways.
True. Right, and that's the cynic would say, why test when I'm just going to just take the pills? Well, and there's some logic in that, but you don't really ever know if you're taking enough pills to get up to that target zone of 8% unless you measure it. But you wouldn't necessarily have to measure it more than once. Once you have a patient who's up at that, taking a stable level of supplements, measure their omega-3 level. If it's 8% or more, don't change. And it won't change in the blood. It'll stay stable.